Hi Taurus, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. If you're already familiar with this space, welcome back. Glad to have you back. But if you're new, come on in and feel free to be your authentic self wherever you are energetically, be it positive, negative, or neutral. And I just pray that you leave better than you came, okay? Take only what resonates for you and then just leave the rest for the next person that it is to be meant for, all right? Don't make a situation apply. But let's see, what's going on, Taurus? I feel like whatever you're working on, you're trying to keep under wraps. You guys have the Six of Swords as the overlying energy, and let me back it up a little bit because I realized in other videos that I've uploaded that the cards aren't very clear. But yeah, you guys are definitely making moves in silence with this Six of Swords energy. Rightfully so. Maybe you've noticed that whenever you try to celebrate, your good news, that there's always somebody in your comments, in your family, at your work that tries to one-up you, or that tries to take your ideas and make it seem like, or repackage it in a way to make it seem like they were the originators of the thought or of the thing. So I definitely feel like a lot of you guys have learned that lesson in this past cycle that you are also moving away from. Swords energy is all about discernment. Swords energy also tells me about history. I don't want to say like a vault of knowledge. What do they call that when an archive? You have an archive of experience now. And I feel like some of you guys are like organizing that as you're ordering your steps for where you're taking yourself next or where you feel guided to go. Because, in this depiction, he is wearing a purple cloak. And purple is associated with your third eye, pineal gland, and crown chakra. So maybe some of you guys are reading up on things and developing that awareness, right? Reading archives or ancient knowledge, texts, whatever you want to call them, and just developing your intuition and learning how to listen to that more and just follow the signs. It's more of like a hands-off approach here. Is there anything else that you guys want to tell us? Or tell me, rather? All right. The Cruise That Hounds, you guys. You have the Star card. So yeah, as I was saying, you guys have like an archive of knowledge or tapping into ancient knowledge and or wisdom, or just through your meditative processes, you've been able to connect with certain guides as well with this star that's crossing you. It's something to that effect. Something to that effect. With the star energy, you're getting a glimpse of what your true purpose and or potential is through this wisdom, or in ordering your steps, again, from this history, these lessons that you have incurred. What's real about the situation? You have the King of Wands. What's wrong about the situation? You have the Eight of Wands. Where you need more information, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Again, like I was saying, following the breadcrumbs, needing to listen to your intuition. Some of you guys, I feel like, for whatever chakra centers are activated, if it's your root chakra, then you're getting that like restless energy that's coming in, and where you feel like you always have to be on the go, on the go, on the go. But again, with this Six of Swords being the more prominent card as the overlying energy that we started with, is you need to learn how to slow down here and to think before you act, right, on your own impulses. I think it was you, Taurus, also that I was speaking to maybe a week or two ago. I'll have to go back and try to find the video so I can plug the card just in case you haven't seen it yet. But there was a concept that came up for you guys about how you tend to be more meek and mild I really do believe that it was the Taurus reading. And so the way that you guys contribute is kind of by playing the role of like the right hand man. What do they call those? Sidekick, right? Playing the role of the sidekick here, or just giving suggestions and like feeding it into somebody's ear and then letting somebody else take center stage. So again, this time it's coming that you cannot run from any longer, because what's wrong about the situation, there can be that like fight or flight type of energy. Again, that restlessness that makes you kind of like want to run and hide, because the number 8 vibrationally touches Scorpio's house and their energy. And you know how Scorpios tend to be more reserved and or private in nature, okay? Things that are hidden can be found in the 8th house. Also with like relationships, just emotions altogether and the intensity of, as well as like latent abilities and skills, talents, what have you. So I feel like you guys have been running from your purpose and the fact that you need to play a more prominent role in your own lives, right? And assuming the role of a leader and being more authoritative, okay? And having a stronger will and being a little bit more charismatic here, okay? Playing to different senses, that's where you need more information. And I feel like you guys have that inkling or that slight keen awareness with the 6 of Swords energy, because you are sharp, okay? And I feel like even though you may not have been able to find the words for these transitions that you've been going through, you know that it's happening, you know what I mean? So that's where that awareness comes from. It's you needing to play on different senses that you have within you. So it's opening Pandora's box in the sense of unlocking your truest potential and your potential abilities, your talents, your skill sets, and not being afraid to be embarrassed, okay? Not being afraid to receive some feedback also with the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like anybody that's in your environment right now are people that have a certain promise, or that they're attached to your promise, right? Or your destiny, if you will. But you have to acknowledge them and see them for who they are, no matter the form that they may take as well. Okay, so you can be surrounded by like children, for instance, and they say something that has a resonance with you, but you can tend to brush them off because of who it is. So like, don't shoot the messenger, in a sense. That's what I'm getting at here, okay? If a kid comes and tells you something or gives you some sort of advice, it's what you needed, it's what you've asked for. But since you weren't specific as far as the vessel or the channel that you needed it to come through, then you're just going to have a little bit more awareness and being a little bit more open-minded here with the way that these little hints come to you. So it can come through a song, it can come through your own journaling. Say if you do like I don't want to say like freelance writing, but you know how it's like more free form, what do they call it, automatic writing. So if you're finding yourself being drawn to those things, or being drawn to certain arts or exhibits, or you just have this creative streak, you know, fully embrace that and just see where it takes you. You will be extremely surprised with where it leads you and what it can show you, right? Even if it's not the final destination for you, where you will end up and what you wind up doing forever, it's going to help you again as far as preparing you for the next level. This card flipped over, so we'll take it as the outcome. You have the Temperance. You have to be open to receiving feedback, no matter who it comes from, as long as it's constructive as well. And that's how you can tell the difference between somebody that actually wants to be helpful and somebody that's trying to distract you, and potentially move you further away from your purpose or your path. People that just want to kind of like belittle you, if you will, here, or become condescending. That's when you know, okay, like this person doesn't actually care You know, they just want to hear themselves talk, or they're deflecting their own problems and pain and trauma and their own failures onto me, but isn't actually showing me how to learn from their mistake, you know, and what to do differently. They're not actually trying to give me the hints and the clues to like, okay, this is how you go about filing for this business, you know, this name, the business license, you know, and doing the taxes on such and such. Like they're trying to keep the information for themselves, because again, they want to have that like one up over you. You have to move away from people that kind of make you feel like you're competing with them here, because they don't want you to do better, unless this is something that you're doing to yourself, right? This is self-harm. Then you're fighting yourself here. This is a you versus you, as opposed to a you versus them type of energy. In regards to love, I feel like that box is being open, but again, you're going into it more wise, and it's okay to be caring and warm and generous, and to be a listener and to be a provider, so long as it's reciprocal, as above so below, with this temperance energy. That's what this is teaching you. It's okay to be passionate. Also, it's okay to be ambitious, and it's you can have it all, so long as you understand how to balance and prioritize and compartmentalize when it's necessary. When you're at work, working your 9 to 5, you really need to be giving all of your attention to that, because whatever you don't complete as far as your tasks are concerned, then you're going to be ruminating about in your mind and taking that with you, even if it's not physical documents that you have to take home with you if you don't complete your job, your assignments or whatever, or just nodding off on your job in other ways by trying to be too amicable, too playful, too flirtatious at work. You know what I mean? And then not doing that, and then it comes with you, so then you can't give your all to the relationship. So you're learning how to compartmentalize here. That's very important. It's okay to be private, so long as you're not being secretive. So if you've been in situations like that, and in relationships with people that in some way kind of like try to hide you, or you them, you're moving away from that energy. Like, it's important to be courted here with these cards, right? You have a lot of court cards here. It's important to be courted. You're understanding the importance of fine dining, you know, being wined and dined. If somebody can ask you to send them nudes, or somebody can so easily ask you to take your clothes off for them, you should also feel comfortable enough with telling them like, hey, I don't feel like I know you well enough for that. I don't feel like we have reached that point where we should be sharing and exchanging bodily fluids, if you will, because you understand just how sacred and just how like spiritually binding that type of dynamic would be, you know? So if there is no promise, if this person isn't coming in with any other offer, you have to be comfortable enough with being like, hey, like, I want to be dated, I want to be courted, I need to know you again well enough to know if I even want to take it to that level. You should get to know me to figure out if you even like me enough to take it to that level. So if you're not already in a committed partnership or whatever that's expanding and growing in other ways, right? Then in your courting process, as you're single, or in this grace period while you're waiting for this next relationship that you're potentially manifesting, you're understanding that now, right? And the ways that you need to see the full spectrum of what you're going to be involving yourself with before you actually dip your foot in that water. Okay? So if it's not about a relationship, it can be about your finances and the way that you're doing that, right? You need to see the full spectrum of what it is that you're potentially about to be getting yourself involved with to know if it's really of your highest good before you proceed forward. You're done with just being given like little blues clues or little hints or being misled, you know, by way of fine print potentially, or just by way of people wearing masks here. It's like, show me who you are authentically, because I'm here and I'm comfortable enough with myself to do the same. And let's just figure out if there is a connection, right? If there's anything past the romantic attraction as well, if there's anything past the initial excitement. Is there anything that can be sustained? You're focused on sustainability. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. If this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up. Share this with your friends and family. Subscribe if you haven't, again, and book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and your soul until you hear from me again. Ciao.